Peter Alexander of NBC News was asking a very legitimate question about the issue I just talked with Sanjay about. The president's very optimistic talk yesterday and again today that there would be therapeutic drugs available to patients immediately. Game-changing. Now, that's what the president said. Of course, his own chief infectious disease, Dr. Tony Fauci, disagrees with him. The president, instead of answering that question, and then Peter Alexander said, talk to the American people out there who are at home, who are frightened. Give them some advice. Instead of offering that advice and that comfort, the president did this.
What do you say to the Americans who are scared, though? I guess nearly 200 dead, 14,000 who are sick, millions, as you witnessed, who are scared right now. What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say.
I
think it's a very nasty question, and I think it's a very bad signal that you're putting out to the American people. The American people are looking for answers, and they're looking for hope. And you're doing sensationalism, and the same with NBC and Comcast. I don't call it Comcast. I call it Comcast. Let me just say, for who you work. Let me just say something. That's really bad reporting. And you ought to get back to reporting instead of sensationalism. Let's see if it works. It might and it might not. I happen to feel good about it, but who knows? I've been right a lot. Let's see what happens.
I sat in that room for just shy of 10 years. It was a perfectly valid question, and what the president did to Peter Alexander is reprehensible. The American people are looking for answers. They do want hope. They do want support, Mr. President. That was a very fair question. Our Caitlin Collins is in the briefing room right now. She was there for that contentious briefing. Caitlin, this is a Trump trademark. This is a Trump trademark. It was striking that this forgive me, bullshit attack on fake news came just moments after the Secretary of State said the American people need to be careful about where they get their information and go to sources they can trust. I get there are at times disagreements. There are at times contention between politicians and reporters. That was a 100% legitimate question with no hype, no shade, no bias. He just wanted to attack.
Yeah, and we're living in a pandemic, and people have questions, and they want to hear messages from the President of the United States. And so that was the question that was posed to him, and that's how he answered it. And we should note that just, a few moments ago, the Vice President was asked the same question. He responded very differently, instead telling Americans to be vigilant. He did not have any issues with that question the way that the President did. And, of course, that comes as the President, had been facing this initial criticism over how his administration has responded to the coronavirus, and that's why you've seen him coming out here every day this week trying to put a public face on the response to this. And so that's why I just raised the questions, is that really what the president should be focusing on when there are questions here about testing, ventilators, masks, so many questions that Americans actually care about, whether or not they can leave their homes. Should they be concerned about a lockdown happening in their communities, since you're seeing some of these happening in California and in New York?